on for real?
Say his mine's on.
Yeah, all the mics is on.
Mic check.
Yeah,
Check
there it
1,
is.
2.
There it is. 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 There it is.
And here.
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? It's your boy, Dan the Dark Knight, as usual, here with someone who you know very well. Here with your girl D Money Max, so you know we talking about some weird stuff. And my boy D Banks, you know what I'm saying? Young Iverson, young Kobe, whatever you want to call him.
No, just call me Kobe.
He think he nice and that's his belief.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So
He said
you know
he'll
his world. Anyway, you know this is back. We back. It's been a while since we've been live, but you know, pop the bubble. Don't stop to the don't.
To the beat.
So you know how we start all the show usually. You know, see how everybody doing. You know what been up with y'all. How y'all been feeling? What y'all been listening to? What's up?
Ladies first.
All right. Well, so I've been pretty good. This past week has been crazy busy. I feel like I've been doing stuff every single day, and I finally got a little downtime. Very little because I have to work to make money. So, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, so I'm glad that you invited me to be on the show. Hopefully, I don't get banned from TikTok again for another 10 days.
Again?
Yeah, I was just banned for 10 days.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Getting banned again. Kobe, thoughts on?
But for me, it's been good. Has some ups and downs. Well, that's a part of life. Everyone knows that. But as long as you make the best out of it. But overall, everything's been looking bright recently.
Okay.
Sunshine. I got some jobs lined up. So,
Jobs.
Hey,
Jobs.
It's working. That's all I can say. My life is just a work in progress. Just trying to make it more better than what it used to be. So that's it.
Ow. You know, I've been chilling. It was my wife's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to her.
Other than that,
Happy
you
birthday,
know,
sis.
nothing. You know, other than you know, trying to keep this positive thing going. I kind of forgot about it the last 2 days, so I'm back on it today.
You forgot about being positive.
I forgot about being positive. You know, I'm back on it. I'm back on it. Thank you. You know, I'm trying really hard.
At an end moment.
Just
I can't say the full word, but we know what I'm talking about. You almost
no,
had an end moment.
I did not have a nigga moment. I was chilling.
See, that's the part. That's the only word I did want to say because I didn't know if it was appropriate.
I'm saying whatever I want. It's my show. You
He said,
know,
I am Daniel.
Your boy Jay Avila back on it. Don't aid me, nigga. You supposed to be here anyway.
Hey.
When we get back, we gonna talk about some things, and it's gonna make some people mad. But you know, this pop the bubble, and this is what we do. We make people mad with the truth. If it ain't your truth, it's because you a lie. Anyway, we gonna be back in a second.
What's up, everybody? It's Kier here, and Jack, Faith, Hope, Love. We all are facing some type of battle. This time, I decided that I'm fighting back. I just refuse to literally let the battle overpower me, and I want to overpower the battle this time. You have to still go through the battle because I still need to get out of you what I need from you. You can beat it. It's just about knowing to getting into a place of confidence, like, I can beat this. I can get past this. This does not have to consume me. This does not have to... I don't have to wear this on my shoulders at all, truthfully. I can let it go. What's up, everybody? It's Kier here, and Jack, Faith, Hope, Love.
I'm Rachel Stewart Johnson, the author of Shackled That Had Me Bound, owner of Beautiful Boss LLC, an advocate for abuse victims. At Beautiful Boss is where we take beauty personally, where we empower people and encourage them to be the beautiful boss they were created to be. Join the conversation with me every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Fire 716 Radio.
Today's teenager is tomorrow's potential regular customer. That's what the tobacco industry said about us. But what does it say about them? That they'll do anything to recruit new smokers. Like using menthol flavors to make products smoother and better tasting, so they're easier to start and harder to quit. In other words, menthol is not just a flavor. It's a way for big tobacco to attract and addict us. And there's nothing just about it. Take action at notjustmenthol.org.
What's good? What's good? Your boy D. Your boy Dan the Dark Knight back at it again. Once again here with my boy Kobe.
You.
Here with my girl D Money Mac. And today we is talking about before we talking about disclaimer. All right. 2 disclaimers. First disclaimer is that anything talked about the show has nothing to do with Fire 716 as a radio entity of itself. So if you get upset with me on this show, you don't have to get upset with Big Frank. He is not in control of anything that I do here. And my second disclaimer is that the conversation we're about to have is not one of hate. It is not one of discrimination. It is not one of what's the word I'm looking for? It's not one absent of love. I don't want anybody to think that they're not loved or that we coming down on anybody about anything, because it's not just because of any kind of views, religious, ideological, or anything like that. We love everybody. God is love. God love everybody. We just having a conversation to bring some light to something. And on that note, today we are talking about.
That sounded so deep. Like, what are they about to say?
You know what I'm saying?
That's a major disclaimer.
I'm just saying, it's a major disclaimer, so nobody can be mad at anything that I say from here on. Well, you can, but that's you being emotional now. That's your fault. So
Just don't take what we say to heart. That's it.
it'd be foolish on you. So we are talking about how society has been pushing a quote unquote gay agenda. How do I want to start this? I'll start this here. Growing up in the 90s,
Best years.
No, for real. It really was the best year.
growing up in the 90s, I've never had I've never seen gay as being an issue. It was never something that was necessarily pushed on anybody. I know that a lot of people that are part of that community have stories of being discriminated against and of some abuse and things like that, where you just feel you've been ostracized. But once again, as far as the world in which I lived in, I've never seen anybody be ostracized for it. I grew up in the church, so I've seen a lot of gay people, but no one has ever talked down about those people, and we all knew that they was gay. So though the wording that we use, we technically, I guess, we can't use no more in regular dialogue. But until about it only been like 10 15 years now that the community of people have really been, it has been a really huge push on being gay and being lesbian and things like that, and it's surfaced more now
Yes.
as something that is really being that's out there. Not saying that's right that people felt that they needed to live in a closet or anything like that.
Right.
But at the same time, you know what I mean? I didn't see anybody complaining about you being who you was until now. And I'm not saying that it didn't happen because I'm not your family and I don't go to your schools. You know what I mean? But like, even when I went to Futures, when I went to East, you know what I mean. When I was at charter school, you know what I mean. We had gay people everywhere. Nobody really cared, you know, about anything that you was doing. You know what I mean. So like,
I would say for me, and the places I've lived and the areas I grew up in, I have seen it. Like I have seen people treat gay people differently. A lot of times I feel like it was more just because the person was so different. I don't think it so much had to do with them being attracted to the same sex or anything like that. It was just more of their presentation and how they acted, which is so different from how normal society acts and stuff like that. And I think that's what really made more people who are in the LGBTQ plus community be treated that way. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that it's a horrible thing or anything like that, because people do it all the time where they dress, you know, women dress like men, men dress like women, stuff like that.
Tyler Perry got rich off it.
But, right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's just more of like, you know, it's startling sometimes to see like a woman who is very feminine looking and very, you know, like try to be masculine like a man and dress like a man, and then same thing for a man who's more, you know, masculine looking to be to dress like a female. It's just, I think it's just more like because you don't see it all the time. Now you do.
Yeah, now
it's kind of like a normal everyday situation. And to be honest, I feel like sometimes, and this is gonna be,
we already put a disclaimer out there, so you say whatever you want now, you know.
It's right. But I think even now, I feel like now it's like, if you're not gay,
you a problem. No, you a problem.
And it's like, you know what I'm saying? And the only things that I really that I've taken personally is just the calling women cis women and calling men cis men instead of them just being
men or women.
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that bothers me sometimes. Now we're changing words. Like even instead of calling a mother a mother, call her a birthing person.
So
you know
I feel like ever since the push really got push, you know, we've had to change our vernacular about things that already had definitions on things that we already lived with and now we're done with. I don't know if saying that it's an attack on what regular society is. I don't think that's necessarily right, but I do feel that it is definitely armistice. Whereas like, well, you know, I want it to be a certain type of way, and for me to feel comfortable, I need it to be this way. And if that makes you uncomfortable, that I want it this way, then now you're always going to be wrong. Though this is how you've been living,
Of course.
you know, forever. You know what I mean? Not saying that change is bad, because you know slavery was terrible. So like, you know what I mean? But like, you know, I think, like you said, you know, as far as I'm having to change my vernacular as far as being, I can't even say that I'm just a man now, you know. Now I gotta be cis man or cis this or that, you know. I can't now when I talk to people, I can't be like he or she in a conversation. And I gotta think, you know, is they a them, is they a they, is they a or, you know what I mean? Like now I gotta see what everybody. I feel like life went from being real simple to being like a video game where now you can pick your gender, your race, your affiliation, and how you want to be called. And it's gotten so bad that now you're forcing it on everybody else.
I would say.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but
it's okay.
but it's hard to
talking to the mic, Dave.
Bro,
I'll bring it to you.
I get what you're saying, but me personally, like everyone else has grown up in a church or actually has.
You're talking about people that haven't. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that they got their own thought process too. But
no,
you know.
But what I'm saying is this, like, because your church gives off a narrative saying that it's not okay to be gay,
right?
Because personally, it's like a law that most pastors follow.
I
To
don't think
preach
it's
on as
necessarily.
well.
I don't think it's a law that most pastors follow. That makes it seem like it's a really, like it's a super man-made thing when it's
Well,
just it's just seen as something that is
But your church doesn't want you to believe in like a gay setting or want you to be gay.
well, I don't think it's a belief thing either. See,
well,
kinda-
I
that's
would
all.
say
That's what I'm saying.
I personally, I do think it's more. It's a belief thing, and the reason why I personally say that is because, in the Bible, God did make man and woman,
Man.
right? So a lot of times, I feel like pastors and people who preach and
Oh, you're talking about
differently.
the he made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Yeah, they go, their whole philosophy is based off of that principle. So it's kind of like when you're in church, because these philosophies are being passed down to you, and you are now, I'm looking to this person as far as my spiritual guidance and how I'm supposed to be as a person.
Right.
Now, their philosophy is now my philosophy.
Yeah.
And it could be, it's one of those things where a lot of times too they feel like there is no gray area. This is what it is. But I feel like the problem is that not that it is what it is. The problem is that we're focusing so hard on that. I feel like sometimes in church and not focusing on everything else that's happening just as much, if not more. And I think that to me is where it kind of is like, wow, we go to church, we grow up in church, and this is what it says, and then people go so hard.
Yeah, that's what I was agreeing with because of that own philosophy setting. Because, like you guys said, like a church could just push something on you, and then sometimes you can like follow up with it, like in your daily lifestyle. Like, okay, you know what? I may think that I am.
Dave voice gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be mad low.
Like maybe I am in the closet, but it's hard for me to come out this closet because of what you were told in church or what you were told by your parents. Like, hey, don't go down this road. I raised you to be
a certain kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. But like, only you can know what you
want to do.
Or what you personally are feeling on the inside, not because of what another is pushing on to you or so on and so forth. But it's just like right now, like with social media, new laws being given out for the gay community. I'm sorry to say it, but like that, but yeah. But it's like it's more than what it was back then. Or I could say it's much more harsher than it was back then than it is now because of everything is being brought to light. Like you can't hide anything. Like you just. That buzz came out. But yeah, like it's now it's. I can say it's more easy for them to come out because
we in different times, I guess.
Yeah, that's another thing, the time difference because of what was brought up from let's say 2000s all the way up to 2010. Like it was different. Like people were still trying to find out who they are, but they were still getting dogged about.
Niggas still trying to find out who they is.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like it was more of them figuring it out kind of on their own versus now where it's like because it's so accepted and different things like that. So I get that. I feel like it's. So I want to say this, but I just know. So, yeah, I can't say this on my TikTok. I have to get off my TikTok for just 2 seconds. I'll be right back because they will. They will. Just. But what I'm going to say is, I truly do believe that it is being pushed in a certain degree because I feel like how come every single time you see like a rapper who starts to get famous or a singer or somebody that's in the spotlight, every single time it turns out to like they're either like a guy, the rapper's wearing a dress, painting the nails, you know what I'm saying, get weaves, all this stuff that's more gender queer. I won't say they're gay, but and then even for the women, it's like they're lesbians, they're doing this, they're doing all this stuff with the women, and it's like. I hate to sound this way, but where are the straight people? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where is the, so So, and I think it's great for those who struggle with it. Now
Mhm.
they have a voice and an identity, and they're not just like a number that
I guess, but
kill.
no, I can't say that because all right. So first I'm gonna hit that. Then I'm gonna go to Dave. Then I'm come back around. Okay. So back to what you said. I can't say that because they've always had icons. You know what I mean?
True,
They've
that's
always
true.
have icons. So
Yeah.
I can't say now you see somebody when they've been there. You know, the Freddie Mercury's, the Sylvesters. You know what I mean? The freaking Freddie Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been there. You know what I mean? So I can't say that now. You know, this is happening when it was happening in the 70s. It was happening in the 80s. You know what I mean? Shoot, y'all they look up to Prince more than regular people look up to Prince, but you know we just love Prince more because the music is just him. But you know what I mean? So like it is what
Can't
it
deny
is.
the talent.
You know it is what it is. You know what I mean? So that I can't fully agree on because it's always been there. You know what I mean? It's always been there. So to say now, you know, don't get me wrong, it's more, but the only reason why it's more prevalent is because we have social media. You know what I mean? You see it more. But even back then, they was talking about Prince, they was talking about Sylvester, they was talking about Freddie Jackson, they was talking about Mercury, but they ain't stopped them from making no money.
True.
They ain't stopped them from getting no concerts. And they ain't stopped them from, well, not Prince, but they ain't stopped nobody from being gay. You know what I mean?
So, do you feel like there is a conspiracy as far as they really didn't have that hard of a struggle, and then now it's made to seem like it was such a struggle to get laws and different things passed?
We gonna come to that.
Okay.
To Dave, to what you were saying, as far as church and stuff goes, I can't necessarily all the way disagree. Not that I'm here necessarily to be super defensive, to be a super defensive Christian or anything like that. But you know, yeah, you know, in church, you know, yeah, it's definitely pushed to be like, you know, don't be gay. You know what I mean? But you know, they ain't never stopped nobody from being gay at church either. So like, you know, what I mean? They ain't never stopped nobody from being gay at church either. You know, I know somebody who cousin gay and he was coming to church every Sunday. Okay, you know what I mean? In his full glory. Okay, so like they ain't never stopped nobody from doing anything. And not saying once again, I know everybody's story is different, and you know, some people I went through some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? But you know, it's gonna sound bad, but so it's black people. So I have black people. And that's where the conspiracy thing is gonna come when I get there. You know what I mean? So like, yes, definitely times have changed, but once again, I feel like we see more because people share more. We have things where people can share things, so that's why we see things more.
And people like to share.
Right. We don't have to.
much.
We don't have to
Too much
wait. We don't have to
information.
wait until you know source come out, or we don't have to wait until magazines drop a monthly subscription. You know what I mean? To see what's happening in the world now. You know what I mean? We get the news every day, every second, every minute. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's so much easier, you know, to see him doing this or her doing that or this conspiracy or this thing happening or somebody cheating on this person, somebody cheating on that person because we we share it. We don't even read it half the time. We see it, read the title, and we just share it. Like you know, like we out here, you know, being outroker. Um, um, so to the thing as far as the church thing go, you know, it ain't never stopped nobody before. And even though the church speak out about it, and though the Bible is like, you know, says things like, you know, men shouldn't be with men and women shouldn't be with women, you know what I mean? It never bastardized anybody for doing it. And as far as the text goes, it said it should not be this way, but it never was like because I mean, you need to separate, you know, all after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So and that's all I'm saying. It's still like what both of y'all say, as far as church, as far as you know, church goes. You know, I've always been taught that how churches and how society is always they're never going to be the same. So I never take it the same. Like when a lot of church people was mad about Obama passing the laws, you know, I wasn't mad because it's like, well, even if Obama believe in Jesus, he think is wrong. He's not he's not the church's president. You know what I mean? He's
Right. Yes.
everybody's president.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So things like politics and how the United States goes, I don't argue with it because it's not about me personally. It's about everybody and how everybody feels, and everybody's not going to be happy with the decisions that everybody make all the time. So it's just no reason to think that it's always going to be about this or always going to be about that, because that'd be silly, because the church and the state are separate.
I think it's personally, like I said, I've seen it. I think it's more. It may not be the church as a collective.
Right.
That is
It's just church people.
It
Yeah, it
definitely
is.
is just
Church
it'll
people.
just be those couple church people that
Oh,
think they holy down to their socks.
The-
That say
the
the
ones-
say the wrong thing to
the-
somebody who's
the-
really trying.
it'd be the-
and that,
It'd be the mothers that they was tricking in their teens and 20s.
right. And they gonna try to
But
talk
they-
about
but
somebody
then-
else.
Then they got saved when they got
Exactly.
saved, when their kids became,
Yeah.
10, 11, and they was like 30 something, and they didn't get their life together. Not that they ain't been living holy since then, you know what I'm saying? But
But I feel like
they
it's more,
they forgot where they
where
was.
came from. Right. I feel like that's more of like what happened.
But that's with
Like,
everything, though.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I do understand where you're coming from as far as you don't feel like it's really been a huge thing, but we also live in the north,
Right.
and you have to think.
I know in the South it's probably 10
it's
times
way
worse.
Yeah, it is.
different.
It
Yeah,
is.
But
so
being
it's-
black in the South is way different.
Right. So I imagine somebody who like a gay black man.
Yeah,
They
probably
have-
got it real bad in the
For real,
South.
yeah, for
You know
real.
what I mean?
So
Depending on the location where you're at. And
Well, not
True.
so much now, but shoot,
mean,
even
because-
earlier in 2000s, you could be in Atlanta and be super gay because it's just
I was about to say, 'cause you
it's out there.
Like, if you want to date it back to 2000. Okay,
I'm just saying,
I'm not gonna say the 2000s.
not even a day back in 2000s. I'm just saying like
No, I'm
it.
just saying, no, this is what I'm
before
saying,
now.
because in Alabama it's a lot different. It's a lot different than Atlanta.
I know, nigga. I'm from there.
Bro, I lived there for a good amount of time, and I've been in Alabama for almost all my life. So I don't want to say I know how it is down there, but I kind of know how it is
right.
because
I was
well,
there.
no, I'm gonna give you an example. Actually, not even an
On the
example,
example.
just a piece. So my grandparents live not actually in Alabama or Montgomery, but they're like way deep in Alabama, like country, like just
Oh man, deep south.
yes, like one of those type of south.
Alabama already deep in the South.
No, like this.
How much more deep in the
like-
South can you get?
Like Alabama and Montgomery is
Montgomery is in the middle
yeah, that's what it is. But
of
my
Alabama.
grandparents they're like in Camp Hill. Now Camp Hill, like I just said, is just a country, but just a few select open stores, but mainly you don't have that many African Americans down
Right.
now. as
My
far
man
as-
Dave
now,
just
this
won't
is what
speak in
I
the mic.
have
He just
saw
won't do it.
As a gay person, I did see.
He just
this
won't
is a
speak
true
in the mouth.
story.
You won't speak into the mic. You keep putting your hand over your mouth
Right.
like you don't want to be heard. That's your word though. Keep talking. I'm just telling you.
Look, but this is what I'm saying though. Like this is a true story. So me, my aunt, and one of my cousins were walking to the store. Mind you, this store is across the cemetery. We see this gay couple.
Mm-hmm.
They were just walking. Mind you, we're the only ones literally walking up the street. So 5 cars come by. Out of those 5 cars, only one of them had one African American family. The others is just all white.
Mm.
So they're dogging this gay community. Well,
Couple.
I'm sorry, not gay community, but gay couple.
Oh.
So they're throwing stuff at them. They're talking about like you shouldn't belong in this type of era or live this type of way, but you can't tell like you can't judge what a gay person
Sorry,
does
Josh,
or
ahead.
anything. But
He said
That's
you.
it.
He said you. He said you
just
could definitely
kept
go
pushing.
deeper south in Alabama, and I was like,
Yes.
yeah, you can. I'm not saying you can't. Alabama go all the way to the water.
It's different, bro.
And I think those kind of experiences is first off, that's what creates radicals.
Yeah.
Because if you go in somewhere and you're just minding your business and you have people throwing stuff and telling you not to be, and not comparing myself to that situation, but I face things like that just being a plus size black woman,
Mm.
like where people have said stuff to me
Right.
or acted a certain kind of way, and it would just be out of nowhere, and so it can definitely make you feel extremely uncomfortable, and it makes you also think like, what's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? That these people are acting like that, but in reality, that's just ignorant people.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because even if you don't agree with somebody's lifestyle, it's their lifestyle. You
Yeah.
don't have to live it.
True.
The only thing that starts to become an issue is when it starts to affect your lifestyle.
Right.
Like if you're
And I feel like that's where we we
Right.
slide into now,
right, like this is where we have a problem. But it would be the same way if I was on drugs.
Yeah.
My neighbor's not on drugs, but I was doing stuff that
Stuff
was,
around them.
yeah, that was making them
Now you
uncomfortable or causing problems.
now you're in my space.
Right. Then it's like, okay, your problem is now my problem.
Right.
And now we have an issue.
Right.
So I agree on that one. And then I couldn't imagine just being deep south. I love it.
The one thing I will say about being in the deep south is that it's easier to be where you want to be or where you gotta be, because you know where you can go, you know where you can't go, and then you know what times you can't go places and what times you can go places. So it don't necessarily, not saying that wild stuff might not happen to you, but everybody know their place, and nobody steps on as much as I know, no one steps on nobody's toes, because everybody know where they can be or where they can't be. So we don't go over there when it's starting to get dark. We make sure that we on this side of the track. We ain't on that side of the track. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you go to that bar at 12 o'clock in the morning, but was it around 3-4? Nigga, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get up out of there. Is that, you know what I mean? But to the main topic which we was talking about, and that was a good segue with the when stuff start dipping into your lifestyle, it may cause problems. Not so much saying that it's necessarily a problem. I think the push of the community not necessarily is a problem, but it's an issue. If those are, I'm using these in different terms as because a problem is something that needs to be solved, when an issue is just something that people are dealing with.
But there still has to be a solution. Right.
I guess. But what I'm saying is like I don't have any issue with necessarily with pride and with with pride or anything like that. I do kind of have a thing about why is Pride Month in June when Juneteenth is in June. Like, that's kind of my thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel no disrespect. Well, I'm black. I don't care what I say. But like, when I'm trying to be free, you're trying to be free, but I can't be free when you free. Now my freedom is getting in the way of your freedom, and now we just seem like we're doing this whole dance thing, and now it's like, now it's all weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like that'd be like that'd be like if it's like White National Month was like January, but Martin Luther King birthday is in January, and it'd be like, you got a thing going on, and I got a thing going on, and that was all weird that we both got this thing going on at the same time.
I feel like July would have been perfect.
I thought July would be great, but
you got your independence and your pride.
Killing it, but it ain't me though.
I think that.
Oh wait, we got a what you call it? Oh shoot, you got it rolling.
Do you want to read that first?
Yeah, that's long. Okay, Josh said there are many insinuated thought communities, and this is where ignorance boldly strives. This causes people to become militant and aggressive about things they don't quite understand in mass. True. True. And I think that's kind of how it all started. We got real, like, people got really militant about, being gay.
Right. Like it became
like they got
their identity.
Yeah, they got super militant about being gay, and now and not everybody, but a lot of people have forgotten that we are other things. You know what I mean? Like I know somebody who strictly only identifies as being gay, but like
Same.
you you
Same.
you Italian, white, all these other things. Like these other things that make up who you are. But this one thing is the one thing you're gonna really grab on. Shoot, I've met some black people that they don't how they go about and make it seem like they don't see themselves as black. They only see themselves as being a part of the LGBT community. You know what I mean? And sometimes that can be and to me, for me, not even to me, for me, is jarring. And is only jarring because I feel that we're still fighting for things that you're getting already.
Well, that's because the majority that make up the
They are very, very
upper
together, I guess.
echelon of the LGBTQ plus
Yep.
community are white men, and white men gonna get what they
Yeah, white man
They
go.
don't
The white,
understand.
the white man
they
gonna
gonna
get what
get
he
it
wants.
done. And I think that is a testament too to tell you just how. I'll be right back. I don't want to give it.
How
How
privileged.
like not just privileged, but think about was they caring about the gay black people that didn't have rights? Realistically,
No.
they didn't
No.
care about
No.
the black rights in the first place. You won't care about your sexuality
Right.
rights. So
Yeah.
I just feel like it's more just like a
So I was like with
I
the
have to
women's movement and black people. The women, white women didn't care about you voting. They
right.
cared about them
They
voting.
didn't.
Yep.
They care about you voting. They care about them voting.
And so I think it's kind of that situation. Like, we're going to get these rights established. We're going to do
Mhm.
all this. You just so happen to
To
be a part of this and
and
get those same
right,
rights. But
Mhm.
realistically, these ain't for you.
that wasn't for you. They not for you.
Yeah.
And this when it first really started rolling, I remember having conversations with people online, and at first their whole thing was that they wanted they was like, well, we just want the same rights as straight people have when it came to children. When it
Right.
came when
Yeah,
it
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 did.
didn't
didn't
start
it
It did.
that
didn't it
way.
didn't
It did.
start as we somebody wasn't letting us do this or somebody wasn't letting us do that. It was that by as far as the law stated,
They were having
they
trouble
could they was having
adopting.
they was
Yeah.
having problem adopting children. You know what I mean? Or with things with like health insurance and life insurance. Well, maybe not life insurance
No,
because you
no
can
life
Yeah,
insurance
but you
you're
too.
can
right.
Yeah.
no
You're right.
because you can pick who you want your life insurance to go to.
But
So
I
it
think
don't have
not
to be
through your
family. It could be anybody.
not
Not
through
through your
your
job
yeah
though.
your job.
You know what I mean? Not through your well, no, that's not true.
No,
Well,
yeah,
no, I
yeah.
don't know
Your
that because
job.
my job, the people that's on my life insurance, they're my nieces. So like through your job, you know what I mean? So that's where their issues were. Their issue wasn't, I need all these rights for all these other things. It was I just I want the right that the person that I'm with or that I'm dealing with, that if something happened to me, it's okay that they can help and take care of it
Right.
because we're a couple, we're a thing. You know what I mean? So they really just wanted to have the same rights as married people. You know what I mean?
They did.
And that's why when Obama was like, gay marriage could be a thing, I wasn't mad because that's all they really wanted. You know what I mean? They just wanted the rights of other married people, which is fine. But then it turned into from going there to, well, now I want now I want to talk about being gay in school. Now I want to talk to now I want to talk to now I want to talk to
Push.
kid now I want to talk to kids
People.
about it. Now it's I don't really even mind it being on grown people TV. You know what I mean? But now you got it on little kids, Nickelodeon, little Nicktoons and Disney Channel kid shows, you know what I'm saying? And like um and things like that, you know what I mean? Like, now it's this whole huge how I see it is a huge conglomerate. They make people and they don't see their stuff being prostituted by companies, with the
Right.
with the with the flags and pride shirts and all that. They don't none of it is going back to them.
Right.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It might be going to any gay rich white person that's got that's owning things or doing
Yeah.
things. You know what I mean? But it's not gone to y'all as a community of people. You know what I mean? And so and that's kind of where my conspiracy is because it's like, you know, and it's gonna sound bad, but I already put a disclaimer out there.
Right.
I know a lot of when people be like, we just want our rights like black people. I always tell them I was like, no one took your rights away.
Right.
True.
No one took your rights away. No one, you still can vote. No one stopped you from voting. No one ever stopped you from getting a job. Nobody ever stopped you from climbing up the corporate ladder. I mean, you may be the only gay person in your joint, but you ain't the only white person there.
True.
You know what I mean? And no one stopped you in the supermarket. Nobody followed you in corner stores. Nobody's blaming you for everything that's happening in a community. So when it comes to things like that, I was like, yo, you're bugging because this the thing that what you wanted, cool, you can have it. Honestly, you got whatever right you want. But I need you to understand that nobody took anything from you.
Right.
The fact that you're making it seem like somebody took something from you, brought you to a place and took something from you, that's not real. You know what I mean? And I know some people would be like, being gay not a choice or this and the third, you know what I mean? But you made a decision not to, and it might not necessarily be gay, but you made a decision to live how you wanted to live in your truth, which is fine. You know what I mean? But don't make it seem like that decision caused you all this turmoil.
So I fully feel like when they started to like compare the black experience to the gay experience and make these connections and say how gay people were being oppressed, like how black people were oppressed, and all that stuff. That made me uncomfortable because it's like you, I'm okay. How do I say this? Because I can't say, well, I was born this way because that's how some gay people feel.
This is
So
what
it's
you feel.
understandable.
But you
But
wasn't born something that can be seen all
right,
day.
that's what I was getting. Like it's there's way bigger disparities. And not only that, but then even just chemically, I don't know if you guys know this. This is not a conspiracy; this is actual fact.
Talk to them.
But your
Preach.
trauma can
Mhm.
be passed down through your DNA
Right.
and
It can.
into your offspring. So trauma that your great great grandparent, which really is not that far away,
Mhm.
Oh, this
at
is
all,
not with black people.
True.
experience, the trauma of slavery, the trauma of being black in America, and different things that just go along with that, is passed down genetically. I have no idea as far as when it comes to being gay, if that's passed down genetically, if that's something that you know what I'm saying.
I don't know if that could be.
I
No,
don't know.
I don't think
and
that's a
I don't-
pass down genetic
yeah.
thing because
It's more of a choice. It's
yeah,
more of a choice.
I
Than
can't
anything.
say that's passed down genetically because I've met two gay people who have a gay child and that person ended up marrying a girl. So like, you know what I mean? So like I can't say that specifically.
Yeah.
But definitely continue what you're saying. You speaking some facts.
Yeah, so I think it's just more about the simple fact that I think that you want an ally. Like you want an ally in the things that you're going through because if I have an ally, then more people understand and they'll be willing to accept and
Right.
make the changes. But the problem with that is where is the black people ally? You know what I'm saying? Because like let's just say things were reversed, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Let's just say that gay people were 100% repressed. They were slaves and all these different things like that. And
Mhm.
black people were just,
Regular
we just
people
wasn't,
that
yeah,
just
we just
was
wasn't
unhappy
accepted.
with how some things was going because we
Yeah.
wanted some things that at the time
Right.
didn't prescribe to
And we
us.
still
Mhm.
experienced horrible things, not to take away from anybody's negative
Mhm.
experiences or nothing
Right,
like that.
right.
But like, let's just say things were reversed like that, and now here we are. Like, we never really cared about the gay community, but now we want to rope them in
Yep.
because we're now experiencing these struggles. We want these changes, all these different things like that. Like that, just to me is like okay, but we were having these struggles prior to
All it is.
all of this.
Right.
And so I think that's more of where like it bothers me. But I don't. When I say it bothers me, I don't mean a person bothers me. I mean as far as um,
How the whole move is
It's brought
going.
up.
yeah, like how the government operates and how they're making changes and doing specific things when it's like, dang, we've only been asking for that
Right.
for 100 years.
You know what I
You know
mean?
what I'm saying?
True.
So like that's where it's like it bothers me, but it has nothing to do with a specific person.
Right.
I try to make that very clear because I feel like sometimes when we talk about these issues, people internalize.
They make it
what
personal.
yeah, they make it very personal. It's like
They seem like we pointed a finger at a
Right.
specific person.
when it's like, no,
Nah.
I love you. You're amazing.
Be
This
great.
has to do. This is bigger than you.
Way bigger than you.
Yeah, this is bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more of where, if the gay community actually stood with the black community the way that they expect the black community to be, you know what I'm saying? Like if they really did that to help push and make changes for the black community, we probably would be further along
Right.
in things.
And a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
things.
A lot of
So
things, you know.
I do feel like there is I'm gonna say it. I do feel like there's a conspiracy,
Mhm.
but not a conspiracy to turn people gay. I
Right.
think there's just a conspiracy to push boundaries
Right.
and to see how far.
You can take it.
Yes, because one of the things that was brought up, as far as now that you're able to say, I am, I identify as this, I identify as that,
Yep.
which no problem. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And
So
now
that's you.
That's
available
how
to
you
do.
want to be.
But it really did open the door, and there's gonna be people that disagree with me.
Uh-huh.
But it opened the door for the pedophile community to
Right,
say,
to jump in on your stuff.
To say,
Right.
to,
Yeah, they did.
jump
Right.
on and be like, well,
Well, I have a mental disease now. I'm not a pedophile. I have a mental disease where I like small children. That's just what it is.
and there's a whole thing about them saying that they identify as a minor attracted person.
Right.
That's an actual thing.
That's an actual thing
now
that's out
Yeah.
here.
being pushed. Yes,
Yeah.
a minor attracted person, and that also too that it's a mental. So they're trying to do two things. But
Right.
They're kind of the opposite.
They're trying to step on two lanes. They're trying to be a
Yeah.
mental thing, and they're
And
trying to
they're
be a
say it's like a,
I'm
I
like a-
identify. I've been born this way kind of
Right.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's which is wild. You know.
Yeah.
But
True.
and I'm gonna say this, and this everybody you might be mad or whatever. You know, if you can't piggyback on something and expect something else not to piggyback on you.
Right.
Okay.
You can't piggyback on a struggle of a people and say that you are oppressed like that said people, and then because how it's seen is that now it seems like you as a community are now ostracizing this other group of community that are like you, that want rights like you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you like, no, that's totally different. You know what I mean? But you were totally different from anything that we was doing.
Yep.
You know, our thing was countrywide, hey, black people is having issues and we would like to fix those. And you came and was like, well, I have a problem with this thing. And you got your thing fixed relatively easily. You know what I mean? And that came with the signs with the time. We are at a time where people are just a lot more tolerant, you know what I mean, of the things in which people do. You know
Which
what
To
I
an
mean?
extent.
Another conspiracy. Because again, I truly believe it all like is connected, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you notice, like even just with television, from even like the 90s when we were born to now, certain things are cartoons, certain things on television, like was it like NC-17 rating? I feel like now is like R rating, if not PG-13 sometimes.
Right.
Where where before it was like you can't show tatas
Right.
and peen and cooch and booty holes on television. Where now it's like
Everybody can
like
see
it's
it.
on regular
It's on regular
television
in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
They just want the ratings at that point.
right. I mean, even as far as like violence, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Back in the 90s, yeah, there was violent movies, but the more violent ones was usually like the horror movies,
Right.
and
Things that you
stuff like
couldn't
that.
things you couldn't watch.
Right, and those were R ratings,
Right.
NC-17. I
Right.
don't even know it in R,
Right.
just not rated at all.
Right.
Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
Crazy.
saying?
That's what it is.
Like
That's
in
what
the
it is.
because in the 90s, Mortal Kombat was a rated R movie.
Yes,
And
it was.
when
It
now
was.
we like, what was that? You know what I'm saying?
It's a
That's
PG-13.
you know what I'm saying? Kids watch that. It's PG now.
Because now
You know what I mean?
It's
the violence,
PG-13 now.
right? Because now violence on television
Is
is
more-
to the point
right.
where you literally are POV murdering
Right.
somebody and blood is actually coming out and
Right.
it's like realistic,
Right.
you know. And there is one other thing I'm gonna say real quick. So there was a study done to find out if your brain it can tell the difference between what's actually happening
Mhm.
and what's just fake, like movies, television, video games.
Of
Mm.
course.
When the study was done, the brain cannot tell the difference.
They
So
get they
this is
get
why
all they get the
sometimes,
pleasure from whatever is see, and
yeah,
they get the amp from whatever is
yes,
happening.
That's it.
yes. And so what ends up happening is, even though you know it's a movie or you know it's a video game,
Right.
you know it's fake, your brain is responding as if this is real. That's why when people go to see horror movies, right,
Mhm.
and they get scared and like they people cry or they start shaking or they throw up, it's because
Yes, ma'am.
your brain thinks you're in this
Right.
real
Yes, ma'am.
situation.
Yeah, that is
So,
true.
and that even, I'm not gonna go this far with the conspiracy, but even further
Mhm.
with just spiritually.
Mm.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just leave it there,
Okay.
so we can reel it back to
All
what
right.
we were saying.
Reel in the back end.
But yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So I think it's um, with them teaching, I disagree with this also. Why are there drag queens in elementary schools? Why is that now, like, why is that okay? Because
Right.
I feel like in the past drag shows, like, that was like a
That was a
that's
the
almost
issue.
up there with
That was the
strippers.
no,
Like,
That was the issue.
no. What make it
That was a
crazy?
big
There's something
issue.
that make it crazier to me is that um as a group and as a community, you had so many things that were so inclusive to you.
yeah,
Okay.
You know what I mean? Drag shows and things like that. Those were super inclusive to you. You know, you could, and as far as I know, as far as Buffalo go, if you want to see a drag show, you can only see it in one place, and that's
right.
at Marcella's. You know what I mean? It's such an
Yes,
inclusive
it is.
thing. You know that this is what we do for us. You know what I mean? It's like black people in rap at one point. You know, we was just rapping because that's what we was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? White man seen it. He thought he could make some money off it, and then Russell Simmons got rich. So like,
No, but you
you
know
know,
what though? That's a fact because you have to think like now. There's TV shows, and frankly, I love them because it's really cool and it's interesting. But I would never want. What's the point of me
mm.
being a part of what is it called?
I don't mind
The
I don't mind a RuPaul drag show
I
though.
don't either.
I'm saying more of like if this being a drag queen
Okay.
and performing and doing those different things
Mhm.
is part of the identity of somebody who lives in that lifestyle,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Here I come, who's not in that lifestyle, who don't understand your struggle, who don't understand what you're going through,
Mhm.
and now I'm gonna go and pretend to
Right.
like act like I know what I'm doing and
Right.
be a part of that
And I
lifestyle.
know nothing about it.
Like that to me, that's kind of messed up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that's not fair to the people who created this and whose life
Right.
is
Who
this.
made it? It's an inclusive thing.
Yeah.
The only real issue I have with that, and, especially like when it comes to societal things, is that you put it in schools as if it's something that is going to be accepted in places where not necessarily that your lifestyle isn't accepted, but that is unacceptable to be. Like
Okay.
you can't be at my business meeting and drag. You can't come to me talking about no money and drag. You know what I mean? You can't. This is certain things that you just can't. Some certain things that you can't do, and they ain't had nothing to do with society. It just gotta be with the where you at and what we doing.
Right.
That you can't. That this is not a thing. So that's why I don't understand it being in school, because school should be one of those places that it shouldn't be a thing in school for the simple
I
fact
agree
that
with that.
school is not. That's not what school is for.
And yes, that's really my main thing is like why are we having drag queens go to schools to read to children? That makes no sense. And that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's another form of entertainment. If you're gonna do that, then let's let a burlesque woman go and read
Right,
her
and
burlesque
just
costume
go
to children.
go
Like
and
this,
read Coyote Ugly.
yeah,
Coyote Ugly.
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
uh,
okay, if that's the okay, so you know what I mean? And at
Mhm.
what point does it stop?
Right, one foot. Where's the cutoff? My boy John said they gave them the blueprint for pedophiles to come in and sit at the table. If they get rid of the pedophiles, they have to themselves dismiss, or to keep their place, they'll have to let them in. And that to me shows that their intentions is what I think you mean, are not pure or good. Do what you want, but let children be children. And I agree to a point. You know what I mean? I feel like I said, the initial conversation is like, it's being pushed so hard that the things that you dragging, the baggage you dragging with you has nothing to do with anything that you was doing.
Right.
And your main vision and purpose is askew. Like I said, of it in the beginning, it was about your right, you know what I mean, for your life insurance, for to have children, to be able to, go to the doctor, put them on your health insurance, put them on your life insurance. You know what I mean? To have right to, if something happened to my person, I am in charge of the things that they have because we are together. You know what I'm saying? So like in that scene. And now, it's about 1,200 other things that have nothing to do with any of those things. And now you pulling pedophiles with you, and I find that to be crazy that you are okay. Not saying that you are okay, that people are okay with it, but I find it crazy that that even has been let to roll as far as it's been rolling. You know what I mean? At this point, society is bowling pins, and everything that anybody throw with it is a bowling ball, and we reaching a point where you're either gonna knock a pin down or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, what you gonna do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that's all I know we got for today. Like I always say at the end of the show, you know what I mean? PopTheBubble is about reeling you in. We threw the hook out, and we pulling it back. It's up to you if you wanted to grab onto the hook or not for the conversation. Once again, there was no hate in this. If you're watching forward or backwards, nobody was hating, nobody was fronting on you. You know what I mean? The love is here. I just want you to know, and I want it to be seen that, just like even with our stuff, and some of the negative things that come with us, you know what I mean? If you have this thing that you see it as a movement, you know what I mean? Be careful of the things that you pull in along with you, because it can cause your movement to be seen as a negative thing later. You know what I mean? My mother always speak about understanding what history will say about you later. You know what I mean? Do you want history to say something negative about you? Or you want them to say something positive about you? You know what I mean? If this is your thing and that's what you want it to be, let history speak positive of it later. Like, this is a really positive thing to happen, instead of, later on and be like, yeah, and how it's going to read in history books. This thing started in this year and it did this. And along with it, pedophiles was able to get their rights to have sex with your children. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And I also agree with I agree with letting kids be kids. Kids are growing up faster than they ever needed to anyway with social media. You know what I mean? We don't. What do you gain from children learning about all these other things that they don't need to know about? All kids should be worried about is playing, eating, and hanging out with their friends. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't be nothing else. And that should be just what it is. And love and not hate. That's what kids should be learning. You know what I'm saying? So I also in the show off with whatever you've been listening to lately. Me personally, I've been listening to a lot of I've been listening to more samples now. So I've been really 60s, 70s kind of music, some even older, like early jazz and stuff like that. Dave, what about you? What been in your ears, Brody?
I ain't gonna lie. I was listening to Keisha Cole a few days ago. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I listened to her whole album.
Yeah.
Almost shed a few tears, but I was singing along to the right.
Wow, that's crazy. D Money Mac, what's up?
I also listen to 70s music. I really enjoy. Actually, I've been enjoying TikTok mashups. They've been doing these remixes with like old school music and new school music, and that joint is really nice, actually.
Yeah.
I need a DJ for that.
Yeah.
Got you.
DJ for that.
Well, like I said, this has been PopTheBubble. This has been the show. We've been fishing. You've been reeling. So, peace.